It's that time of year again. It is December and it is time to get ready for the new year. Today's video is actually going to be the beginning of a series for New Year's planning. So we're going to set the tone. We're going to go over my 5 steps to plan your best year yet. You ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, so the first step before we even start planning New Year's goals is to actually think about our life vision. You need to know what you want your life to look like, to even know what things you need to do or what habits you need to create to have a successful life. Now remember, this is your life, your idea of success. So it's going to be unique to you. So think about what's important and what you want in your life when you do this process. We're going to take a moment and we're going to dream big. We're going to close our eyes and dream about the house you want, the career you want, the relationships you want in your life. What does your ideal week look like? Your ideal day look like? Those are the things you need to think about when it comes to life vision. Write it down. What does it make you feel when you think about, this is my ideal of success. This is the life that I want. So now we know what the ultimate destination is, right? We figured out our life vision. Now we need to take a moment and think about where we are, where we're starting at to figure out where we need to go, right? So step 2 is all about reflection. We're going to think about this year and what we learned, what challenges did we face, and how did we face them? What worked well for us this year? What habits or routines that are working? What's not working? What have you learned this year that you can see yourself using forward? What goals did you achieve this year and which ones didn't and why? Now, these are just a couple prompts you can think about when it comes to reflecting on this year. But honestly, I want you to spend some time and really be honest with yourself. It's going to let you know where you are so that we can move on to the next step of how to get to where we want to go. Okay, so now we have our life vision, where we're going. Now we reflected on the year, where we are coming from and where we're currently, and now it's time for the meat and potatoes, actually planning out how to get from where we are to where we want to go. Now, to begin this method, we are actually going to start by brainstorming. And you're probably wondering, Rhonda, you talked about life vision, like things that take years to develop. I get it. I understand. I'm going to explain everything to you. We're not trying to achieve our whole life vision in a year. What we're doing is we are breaking it down. We're brainstorming goals that we can accomplish in 12 months. But these goals are going to push us closer to the life vision. I'll give you an example. If my life vision was to earn 6 figures and retire by 55, I'm going to brainstorm things that I can do this year within 12 months that's going to push me to that 6-figure goal and that retiring by 55. I could earn a certification or complete a professional development course, and that could boost my resume or even qualify me for a higher paying job. I could revamp my resume, look for a higher paying job right now. I can put money into a 401k or an IRA. I could negotiate a raise, start a side hustle, and this will help me build another stream of income. I could build my emergency fund or learn about investing or budgeting. These are all examples of goals that I could have this year that's going to help me when it comes to my life vision of earning 6 figures and retiring by 55. So take a moment and brainstorm some goals. I behoove of you to have that life vision out when you do this process. So you know, okay, this is where I'm going. And before you move on, I want you to go through that list and actually star no more than 5 things, because those 5 things are going to be your focus goals for the upcoming year. Now, personally, I like to break up my goals into categories because it helps me stay well-rounded throughout the year. But how you do it is up to you. Just don't pick any more than 5 goals, okay? Step 4, we're going to break down those goals into action steps, because goals are like projects, right? And projects, you have steps and milestones you need that's going to help you get to the end of that project. The same thing when it comes to this part of your planning your goals process. we are actually going to think about the steps that we need to accomplish those goals. Now, a tip that I like to use, I actually draw out a process map and kind of just brainstorm the action steps that I think need to be taken. It may require a little bit of research because you may have gaps here and there or something that you don't understand, and that is perfectly fine. This is the time to do that. But the whole goal of step number 4 is to have some action steps written out for how you're going to accomplish that goal next year. And the final step for you, step number 5, is mapping out your goals. Now, we have our 5 main goals. We broke them down into action steps and tasks that we can actually take within a 12-month period, but now we need to actually map them out. We need to understand what's going to happen and when, and create a realistic timeline that is going to help us stay focused and keep us on track to achieving our goal. Now, you can break it down yearly to quarterly to monthly and even weekly when it comes to this process, but that is up to you. So I'm going to give you an example. We're going to go back to the life vision of 6 figures, retiring by the age of 55. All right, so I brainstormed a couple things and I decided that this year I'm going to focus on saving $10,000. Let's say, for instance, that quarter 1, I want to focus on budgeting. I want to understand my budget and where my money is going. So quarter 1, I'm focusing on that and I'm putting some money aside, what I can for where I am. Now, by quarter 2, I'm getting to the groove of things. I'm budgeting, I'm learning how to track my expenses, and I'm noticing some things about how I spend. It could be, we eat out, 4 times a week, but I'm really understanding where my expense is going. So now I'm really building my momentum and starting to put even more money into my savings. And quarter 3, I'm still building on that, and I'm putting even more money into savings until I get to quarter 4, because now I have made the habit and I'm going towards my $10,000 goal, right? Now, what if I wanted to break that down into monthly? Here's what it could look like. January, I'm putting only $250 in. It's what I know I can put in because I don't know where my money's going. So I'm only putting in $250 and I'm focusing on learning how to budget and learning how to track my expenses. And maybe during that time period, I figure out there are about 2 or 3 subscriptions that I can cancel and probably put that money towards my savings. So February comes along, right? And now I want to put in $300 because I canceled those subscriptions and I put them towards my savings. Now, during that month, I'm still working on building that budgeting habit. I'm looking over my budget. I'm learning about my finances and my financial habits. And maybe I notice that I eat out 3 or 4 times a week. So now for March, I'm going to focus on, maybe I'm going to eat out only twice a week. Stop doing all the luncheons and other things that I may be doing. And for March, I'm going to put in $350 and work on only eating twice a week out. Now April rolls around, I'm putting in $400 in. I'm creating that habit of budgeting. Maybe I want to set a percentage of each paycheck to go towards my savings. And I want to make sure it's automated. So it automatically comes out before I can touch it. So maybe that's what I do for the month of April. Now we're at May and I'm putting in $450. But hey, I got my tax return. So maybe I want to put some extra funds from the tax return into my savings. So maybe that's what I do for May. June, I'm putting in $500. I made the habit. I'm doing good. I'm keeping up my momentum. I am focused. And now I want to start exploring some side hustles, some side gigs that I can do to earn extra income. So maybe that's what I do for June. Now we're in July. I have $600 in. I'm reassessing my budget. I'm keeping the momentum. I'm building the habit. And then I'm thinking about, maybe I want to learn a little bit about meal prepping to cut down on my grocery bill, because I realize my grocery bill is now the biggest thing that's coming out because we already took care of the dining out, right? But you see how each month I'm striving towards that $10,000 goal. I'm improving. I'm progressing. Now, I may not necessarily hit that 10,000 because if you look at my numbers by the end of the year, I'm a little less than 7,000. But guess what? I am $7,000 more in my savings than what I was when I began with. And that's not even the best part. The best part is I have created the habits, I've learned the knowledge to do even better with my finances for the next year. That's the best part, okay? But that is how it works when it comes to using these 5 steps to creating your goals. Now remember, we're not trying to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect because life is going to happen, okay? And that is fine. We are progressing, we're improving, and we are learning. We are setting up the foundation for achieving the life that we want. So there you have it, my 5 steps to creating your goals. And with these 5 steps, we have literally strategized a dream and what it's going to take to create a reality with focused action steps. Now, the key word was action. It is one thing to just plan it, but we actually have to take action and do it. And I honestly can't wait to see what the upcoming year has for you. Now, the next video in this series, we're actually going to plan out next year together. So you're going to see all those steps in action. So have your goal planning workbook ready. I've linked it down in the description below. Have that printed, download it, however you like, and ready for next week. And I will see you next Saturday at 1:30. Bye.